All right, let's talk about something we all know way too well. We're embarking on a universal quest, right? A journey that unites pretty much all of us in that quiet desperation you feel at 3 a.m., the search for a good night's sleep. It's a tale that's been passed down for generations.
And like any good story, it starts with a legend. We're not just talking about a biological function here. No, it's folklore. It's something whispered from one tired person to another. And framing it that way kind of makes our nightly struggle feel less like a personal failure and more like, a mythical quest.
Okay, so what is this legend, really? What's this mythical creature we're all hunting for night after night?
And there it is, the official definition, straight from the land of make-believe. Your body heals, your mind resets, and you wake up refreshed. I mean, come on, does that sound like a complete fantasy to anyone else? Because it's this gold standard, right? The one that's just taunting us from our pillows every single night.
And this right here, is the massive gap between that legend and, well, our reality. On one hand, you've got the promise of blissful unconsciousness. And on the other, the reality is you at 3 a.m., phone glowing in your face, frantically Googling if you can literally die from this.
So let's be real. For most of us, getting that legendary sleep, it's not a routine. It's more like a rare cosmic event, like a solar eclipse. You might be lucky enough to experience it a few times in your life, and you will absolutely be telling stories about it for years.
But okay, before we can even try to catch that eclipse, we have to face our first huge challenge, and that is the battle for bedtime.
Oh man, we've all lived this timeline, haven't we? It starts with such good intentions. You tell yourself, okay, 10 p.m., lights out, done. But then, the internet happens. Our brains, they're just wired for this stuff, and they find a rabbit hole, and suddenly it's almost midnight, and for some reason you're now a leading expert on why pigeons bob their heads. And by 1:42 a.m., you've crossed the point of no return. The night is officially a write-off.
But hey, let's say you actually do it. You win the battle, the phone is turned off. And in that moment of quiet, there's this little flicker of fragile hope, right? You just ask the darkness, okay, now I'll sleep, right?
Wrong. So wrong. See, putting the phone away isn't the finish line. Oh no. It's just the starting gun for a whole new event, the Olympic-level sport of actually trying to fall asleep. And that brings us to the main event, folks, the night shift trials. This is where the real work and, let's be honest, the real absurdity all begins.
Because trying to sleep, it really is an athletic endeavor. First event, the mental gymnastics. You know this one. It's replaying every single awkward conversation you've had since, 2003. Then, just as you're finally drifting off, the bladder clocks in for its nightly shift. And of course, the grand finale, the all-night endurance challenge known as the blanket tug-of-war.
And you want to know the worst part? The absolute worst part? While you're fighting for just a tiny corner of that duvet, your partner, or your cat, let's be real, is sleeping like absolute royalty. They are living the dream you're chasing, while you're basically a castaway just clinging to a single shred of warmth. The injustice. It's just, you can feel it.
So after all those trials, after all that struggle, we finally reach the climax of the night. But it's not a victory. Oh no. It's that slow, painful realization that the battle is over and you've lost. Welcome to the taunting dawn.
Ah, yes, that sound. We all know it. That first little chirp. To someone who's actually slept, I guess it sounds cheerful, but to you, it is pure mockery. Those birds are not singing. They are broadcasting your failure to the entire neighborhood, and you just know they're enjoying every second of it. And it just leads to this deep personal resentment for a tiny, feathered creature that has achieved with zero effort the one thing you couldn't. It's absurd, it's hilarious, and it's so painfully true for anyone who's ever seen the sunrise from the wrong side of sleep.
All right, the battle is lost. The sun is up. Now what? Welcome to the final chapter of our little story, the Survivor's Toolkit.
Look, surviving the day really just comes down to two key skills. First up, you need chemical assistance. We're talking about drinking enough coffee that your heart starts beating in Morse code. And second, you've got social camouflage. That's where you master the little white lie. "Oh yeah, I slept fine, thanks," just so you can avoid all that unsolicited advice while you're secretly fantasizing about a nap you will never have time to take.
I mean, let's just be honest with ourselves for a second. While we're all out here chasing this myth of perfect, restorative sleep, the true hero of our modern story is caffeine. Lots and lots of caffeine. It's not the solution we want, but hey, it's the highly caffeinated one we've got.
So, that leaves us with one final thought. We've had a good laugh about this whole struggle, but the question is real. Is a good night's sleep an actual goal we should be striving for? Or is it maybe just a myth that would be healthier to let go of? You know, is there some kind of freedom in just accepting our messy, caffeinated reality? It's definitely something to ponder, probably around 3 a.m. Thanks for joining me on this one.